Good evening and welcome to All Things Women Talk Show. I'm your host, Dr. Eboni Bell, and I'm so excited to be here tonight at the Creative Minds Mixer and Enrichment I'm so excited because I have been able to connect with an amazing woman of God who is using all of her gifts and talents, and more than that, she wants to bring them out of you. So the reason I created All Things Women Talk Show was to celebrate the masterpiece of woman and all of the gifts, talents, skills, abilities, and anointings that God has given us as women. And so tonight we're going to be getting into a little bit about branding, entrepreneurship, and just finding out how this amazing woman of God began her journey, not only with styling, helping you with your wardrobe, your look, your image, but even beginning to allow you to be able to find out what your purpose and your destiny is through the gifts that God has given her. So without further ado, let's give it up for Lee Salter from the Lee Salter Creative Firm. So listen, thank you so much for having me tonight. I am so honored to be here with you. We are here in Richmond, VA. So we want to jump right into the conversation. We're here tonight with all kinds of entrepreneurs, people who want to connect and people who want to network. Can you just begin by telling us a little bit about who you are, where you're from, and how you got into starting your firm?
I'm Lee Salter. I'm from East Orange, New Jersey. That is northern New Jersey. That's where I'm from. And I relocated to Richmond, Virginia about 4.5 years ago. I went to school for biology at Montclair State University, and I was really excited and wanting to go in the direction of wanting to be in the medical field. And so I was really wanting to be a doctor for that time frame. As I got towards the end of going to school, my mom passed away, and things just kind of like shifted for me. So I really didn't know where I wanted to go with the whole science thing in the medical field, but I kept trying at it. But as time progressed and I saw how big the styling industry was getting, I was just like, I can do this. This is me. And so I got really excited during that time, and I wanted to get into wardrobe styling. So I started it for a while. I got my feet wet a little bit, and it was really exciting for a while. I did a little traveling and met some really great people. But then as time progressed, I realized like this isn't all that I am and all that I can do. And so I was just like, I feel a little bit boxed in. Everybody's coming up to me like, hey girl, how can you give me that skirt? Hey girl, I can, excuse my voice tonight. I've kind of lost my voice. But, during that time frame, I felt like people only boxed me into just that. That one thing. And so, I took some time away from doing the wardrobe styling and just really tried to figure out how can I maximize my gift. And I realized how creative I actually am. Just having conversations with people that are in business and they're starting off wanting a wardrobe consultation, but then wanting to further themselves in what they can actually do. And so it's like, oh, this event would be great for you, or you should venture out and do this or do that. And then I realized my creative consultant ability can take me even further than wardrobe styling could ever do.
I love that. How did you come to the conclusion, though, that it was time for you to shift? And what happened in that waiting phase where you're trying to figure out what to do next? Because I know as an entrepreneur, it's tough when you feel like your brand is moving, your brand is shifting, your life is changing, who you are is changing. And so how did you get to the place where you said, okay, listen, it's time for a shift. It's time for a change.
I think that sometimes when a shift happens, sometimes the best way for it to happen is when you're put in a position where you have no choice but to move.
Wow, yeah.
And so in this specific season where I was ready to take a shift, I wasn't really sure I was ready to take a shift, but what ended up happening was my pastors took a chance on me.
Okay.
And as they were giving me tasks and different things to do, it started to become gifts that I didn't, abilities I didn't even realize that I had at that moment. Yeah. And I found myself making a shift in that process. And I'm like, okay, I'm enlarging myself. I'm becoming more than what I thought I can do. I have a larger capacity to do more. And so that's...
I can see that as you say it.
And so I literally started to enlarge myself in that time. And so, you know, when you have somebody literally say, I see something in you, they don't even have to tell you. They just start giving you the task to take on. And when you start getting stuff in your hand and you just start getting more, and you're like, oh, it's not that heavy.
Yeah.
It's not that much. I can do this. And so as you get more tasks and more things, you're like, this is something that I can do.
It's almost like it's pulling you and stretching you and helping you discover new and different parts of who you are. And how do you want to do that in your firm for other people? Because it sounds like the same exact process you went through is kind of what you want to help others do.
Yes.
So how do you do that through your firm?
I feel like being able to help people shift and make that move is when they first come and they're like, I'm an author, I'm an entrepreneur, you know, I have this idea, I have this great book, I have this great product that I want to be able to sell. How can I go to that next level? You know, I just feel like if there's an opportunity, then I would just have that conversation with them and give them more creative ideas to, you know, and honestly, like I said, just giving them the task to be able to put themselves out there to do what they need to do. For instance, this very event, I have a coworker that I've worked with for the past 2 years. She does amazing event planning, and I constantly would have conversations with her at work and constantly talk to her like, Brittany, you actually love doing this. Why don't you do this full time? And she's like, I don't know, I just do it here and there or whatever. And so, you know, I would think about like, how can I get her out there? How can I find a way? And so I feel like what I'll be able to do for clients with the firm is see something in somebody and actually find an opportunity to give them to do something more. So this event was like her first big event to get herself out there and to start to brand herself and get people to know who she is. She operated in pure excellence tonight. She did all of the favors, all of the centerpieces, all of the desserts, all of the food. She did an excellent job. She did. It's like, to this magnitude was something the first thing she's ever done, and she did it in pure excellence, and I'm so proud of her. But that's what I believe the firm can do for a lot of people who are looking for exposure.
I love it. I so love that you can see the undiscovered diamond in people and begin to allow it to shine. So I wish you no less than a blessing that you can't even contain.
Thank you.
Because a lot of people out here, they're undiscovered. They're anointed. They're great at what they do. God has gifted and anointed them, but they haven't been discovered, and they don't have that cheerleader, and they don't have that person to push them to that next level, or to even help them believe that they can even do it. So as we wrap the conversation up, can you talk to us a little bit about branding and what are the most important aspects of a brand for a person who does have an idea or a concept, but they don't know what to do with it? What would you do with that client?
Right. I think when you have an idea, I think when you have a concept, the first thing you need to do is write out the business plan. I think you need to be able to sit down and figure out, what does that look like for you? Does it fit your personality? You know, sit down with somebody like myself and let's figure out, what does that logo look like? What do you want that website to look like? You know, how can we find events that you can get yourself out there to do something new? And just recognize that, as we talked about earlier, that as you grow and evolve, so does your brand. So does, you know, you move. Your brand moves with you. It'll never stay the same. It'll never stop. It'll never stop. And if you're willing to accept the fact that the brand will continue to change, then you'll be ready for that next level at any moment. And like, look at people like Oprah, you know, who went from being on, you know, ABC, you know, on your television every day, and now she's on. But she's still Oprah. That name still holds weight. But it has continued to change. It has continued to evolve. So I believe that that's what, you know, I can help people do.
I love it. And I think when you mention Oprah, it speaks to the core of who she is. Because even with her new food brand, everything that she does, there's a center to it. There's a foundation to it. And I personally found that with branding, if you stick to your mission and your vision, that's your foundation. Everything else around it that's creative can change. So I absolutely love what you're doing. Can you tell the audience how they can connect with you on social media?
You all can connect with me on my business page, the Lee Salter Creative Firm, on my personal Facebook page, Lee Heron Salter, on my Instagram, at Lee_Heron Salter, and my website is www.LeeSalterCreativeFirm.com.
I love it. Listen, I'm so excited for you. I cannot wait to see what 2018 holds for you. Thank you so much for being a part of season 4 of All Things Women Talk Show. I am so excited for everything that God is doing in the life of just the body of Christ, and how he's allowing these undiscovered diamonds to come forth and begin to shine the light in this world. So listen, thank you all so much for tuning in. Please be sure to connect with us on social media. Connect with All Things Women TV on Instagram and All Things Women Talk Show on Facebook. And this has been season 4 of All Things Women Talk Show. Thank you so much, guys.